Falcon fans, and of course, Falcon fans. You already know what it is. You already know what to do. It's your boy Jack Spade checking in from One Time for the Fan. Episode 204, man. We outside once again. Another beautiful day here in Atlanta. Falcons fans talking Falcons football on this Falcons Friday. And of course, we have a special guest that's going to be joining us here in a matter of moments. Saivion Mixson from the Sporting News, who's also been on the channel before here of One Time for the Fans. So for fans that remember Saivion last year talking Falcons football with us, we promised to not go more than an hour talking football here. It's the morning, right? People have to get on with their day. Last time we had Saivion here, I think I told Saivion, I was like, hey, I know it's your first time on the podcast. A couple minutes, 15, 30 minutes, if you can just talk Falcons football. I think it was like almost 2 hours we talked last time. So I promised this morning it would just be an hour of Falcons football. Big shout out to Bodie, my boy Bodie 3000. Big shout out to Chase. DFU2 also doing big things over there. RISEUP content creators, big shout out to you all, everybody in the community. Big season ahead here. Of course, you know, the schedule has been released. We're going to talk about that here. But a major shout out goes to the homie T. Will. I know he's going through a lot right now. I'm sure probably some of you have seen maybe his post on Facebook, but he has a lot going on in his life. And, you know, my thoughts and prayers go to my homie T. Will and his family. And I don't want to say too much here on the channel without T. Will, but when T. Will is here, I'd rather have him talk. But big shout out to the homie Terry and his family. Falcon fans, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button for our good friend, Saivion Mixson from the Sporting News, here talking Falcons football. Also, New Millennium Falcons podcast too as well.
Sir. Yes, sir. New Millennium Falcons podcast. We are very sporadic in when we drop, but when we drop, we do go for a solid hour and a half. That's probably the reason why I kept you hostage here for 2 hours last time I was here. Definitely prayers up to T. Will, man. Hopefully he and his family are going through this. Prayers up a ton, but. Yeah, man. Happy to be back on. Happy to be talking Falcons football again, bro. Man, let's get into it. Let's get it.
Well, Falcon fans are in the chat. You know, once again, the chat is live. The chat is lit. Saivion, since the last time you've been here, you know, things have changed here on the channel. I mean, a lot more subscribers. The content is definitely getting much better. I think for the Falcon fans, they're seeing a lot more of One Time for the Fan. Not only just your Sunday and Wednesday shows, but now we have our Breakfast with One Time for the Fan show. Our Friday morning Falcons fans talking Falcons football on Falcons Friday, which is going pretty well right now. I think you are third guest here for our Breakfast with One Time for the Fans show. So big shout out to Saivion.
Top three,
taking the time out of your day to come talk some football with us. Because once again, last time on the podcast, it was supposed to be just a couple minutes that we are going to just chat about the Falcons, and then it just kept going on about the offense and the defense. And I think it was who was the quarterback at the time? Somebody, can't remember the guy's name, but
I want to say Mariota. I think
it was Mariota.
Mariota at the time.
Oh my gosh. It's been a while since Saivion has been here. But the chat is live. A lot of people from the West Coast here in the chat too as well. I don't even know if the sun is up over there.
No, it can't be. It just got up over here, so there's no way it's up yet.
6:10 over there, Deke Ruffin. You're over there on the West Coast, man. Let us know. Is the sun up over there, my brother? Is the sun up? Deke Ruffin's in the chat. He said, "Good morning, fellas. Plans are being made, and the season is right around the corner. Exciting times." Big shout out to Dwayne Ruffin, who was also on the channel with us the other night for our schedule release podcast. We had a lot of Falcon fans who love traveling to away games on the show, and Dwayne Ruffin is in Fresno, California. He travels damn near to every single away game. He's also a member of the Rise Up Tour fan club, a group that we started not too long ago that loves traveling to these away games and putting on these events. But we'll talk about that later. Philip Crawford is also in the chat too as well. Our newest podcaster here at One Time for the Fan, Miss Carrie, is also in the chat too as well. Good morning, happy Friday, Falcons fam. Hit that like button, everyone. So Carrie's telling everybody early to please hit the like button.
You got to listen to Carrie.
Gotta listen to Carrie. Big shout out to my good friend Carrie. Deshaun's in the chat too. What's up, one timers? Question: the score was released by which hip hop group or artist? Yeet! Get some. The Score, Saivion. Found that the Score. That sounds like some Fuji's type of thing.
That does sound very Fuji's-ish. I was not expecting to get quizzed on my hip hop.
Oh yeah, so today. Sean loves to join the chat early. He uses the first comment, and he's going to try to stump you with some type of hip hop trivia.
The Score.
That
does sound Fuji's-ish. I'm gonna go with you on this one, Jack.
The Score. I'm gonna hope it's The Score. Now we don't do the just go to Google and get the answer. Deshaun will give us the answer, but Terry has been spot on because Terry's real old school with his music.
Mm-hmm.
I'm new. Of course, I like listening to a lot of old school too as well. Grew up on Jay-Z and Eric Sermon, a lot of those artists too as well. Nas and everything.
Jay-Z old school now? Is that where we're at?
He only drops once in a while, and he's in his 40s. I mean, he's going on close to his 50s, right? I mean, he's up there, right?
Man, that hurts. Jay-Z was my childhood. Oh, Jack.
Bro, we're growing up, bro.
Oh God,
bro, these young cats are listening to V's and Ken Carson, and
I saw somebody named Tizo Touchdown. I was like, okay,
dude with the shoulder pads and the spikes, and it's like, dude is selling out shows all over the world right now.
Yeah, and I was just like, okay, this is. I think we finally reached the age where it's like we don't have to know new music anymore. We can just kind of go back to what we know. You know what I'm saying? And it's socially acceptable, and I'm completely fine with that.
And for fans in the chat, I just said Jay-Z and Nas, and you guys are like, whoa. And when I said Nas, you guys are like, whoa, when was that last #1 album? Like that was, we talking about old school music here sometimes for hip hop.
Yeah, that knee creak when you said that. I'm not gonna hold you.
Sheesh. Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Let's break the ice here, Falcon fans, because we have a lot to talk about. I know y'all want to talk about some Falcons football. My good friend Saivion, brother. Schedule's getting ready to. Schedule's already dropped, but the season's getting ready to start shortly. Mm-hmm. And a lot of fans are going to wake up. They're going to head down to the Benz week 1 for that Pittsburgh Steelers Falcon matchup.
Sure.
And of course, a lot of fans, they've been to the Benz before, or however they're traveling, if they're flying into a game or if they're driving in from a different city. But there's always that game day breakfast, right? You got to eat your breakfast before the game begins. I mean, some fans will get out there and do the tailgate. So it's kind of like you might even have a burger at 9 a.m. You know what I'm saying? You might have
acceptable.
Sometimes it happens when you're tailgating. Mm-hmm. I mean, the tailgate starts at 8:30 and the grill is on, and the food starts cooking around 9:30, 10. You eating burgers for breakfast. Yeah. But what is your game day breakfast option, Saivion? If you're watching the game from home or if you're going down to the stadium, of course, we're in Atlanta, so Chick-fil-A ain't open. So what is your game day option on Sundays, man? So
I'm usually watching from the house. Because I can't ever get to Atlanta. Always going from Jacksonville to Charlotte now. So, I like to splurge when I go out. Usually I make my own breakfast.
Okay.
Game days, got to go outside. Got to go get something. So first thing, Waffle House. Got to. It's Atlanta Falcons. Falcons. You have to go to Waffle House. You don't want to go to Waffle House? Fine. Go to Hardee's. You know what I'm saying? Get you a couple biscuits. Speaking of biscuits, Bojangles is a great option. Bowberry biscuits. And now they have a sandwich for the Bowberry biscuits that you can put like sausage on it. You know what I'm saying? Like
great sandwich now with the biscuits?
Oh no. They created it for you.
Oh, okay,
no. It's like a Bowberry biscuit, and you can like put in the sausage patties between the two Bowberry biscuits.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally savory and sweet, all in one. It's $2 for $5. Do it.
Fans, you're hearing this right now for breakfast for one time for the fan, because when we're done with this show, you still have time to go get that sandwich.
A little bit, yes. Not for Bojangles. Bojangles is all day, so you can do that. But yeah, Hardee's definitely get you a biscuit. And if you're feeling, like some snacking bacon or something, Dunkin' Donuts is always a good option. So those are my options for breakfast.
Falcon fans in the chat, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. If you're up with us this morning, watching, or if you're listening, Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, welcome to you all. We just want to make sure that everybody is not only enjoying the Sunday and Wednesday night content, but we have our breakfast with one time for the fan special here with Saivion Mixson from the Sporting News. Talking game day breakfast options here quickly as we break the ice. So Falcon fans in the chat, we're going to talk about the schedule here shortly. And what is your game day breakfast option, chat? I know some of y'all will probably say Waffle House. Might have some IHOP fans in the chat. Don't know too many, but might have some IHOP fans here in the chat.
Wow.
This morning, I decided to go ahead and, grab a quick hash brown and I'll go grab a hash brown from McDonald's. I don't eat everything off the menu, but I'll do the hash brown. I'll do the orange juice, and I got kids too as well. So it's like you got to get the hash brown. It's easy. It's convenient for people.
Let me ask you a question. Do you have the rewards app?
I do not.
The rewards app is actually really good if you make a habit of getting that said hash brown and orange juice.
I do not, but I need to get that. I'm probably pretty sure I would have saved some money this morning and maybe would have got a hash brown for free or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It accumulates fast.
So, Saivion, you just put me on game here, and I go to McDonald's randomly, especially with the kids when I'm trying to drop them off at school and so forth. Or if I don't make breakfast in the morning, we might stop different places, but I have to look into that rewards app now.
Gotta get the app. Now, I understand the stigma that comes with having a McDonald's rewards app on your phone. I understand. I get it.
Yeah.
It immediately puts you into big back stats. But you got to invest in that.
We have kids, man. People gotta understand, man. As parents, your
That's
kids.
our excuse.
As soon as you drive past McDonald's, the kids are like, "Can we stop?" And it's
Can we stop at McDonald's?
All right, just one time for you guys. I'll take care of it.
One time for the fan.
One time for it. Hey, y'all, Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. It's going down in a major way. 95 North Falcons talk shows in the chat. He said, great morning, fellas.
My dog.
He's also saying great morning to everyone in the chat. Fans, I know y'all are excited about the schedule release that just happened the other day. We're going to talk about the games here, strength of schedule. We'll talk a little bit about Kirk Cousins, too, as well. And some of the roster. I know Saivion can talk Falcons football, so that's why he is here to talk Falcons football. And D.A. Hunter said Jay-Z is in his 50s. So, yeah, that is old school. That's something. But he can drop a tape right now. It can relate to anything, right?
And it'll still go, it'll still go hard.
You put Jay-Z on some trap beats right now, like on some straight up trap beats. Like, he don't want to do it. He still sticks to his style. But if he has to switch up for the culture, he will do that.
I feel like he can. And I feel like it'd be kind of dope. I feel like it'd be kind of dope.
Man. It's Jay. Oh. Zay's in his bag. He said, what to do, chat? Zay said, he said, y'all let me know about that Philly game. I'm about to purchase my tickets tonight. Hold on, Zay. Hold on. You might want to join. You might want to join the RISEUP Tour fan club. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Don't purchase your tickets tonight, Jay. We can put you on some game. We travel to these away games. What we do is we put on a lot of events and stuff on the road for fans, but we also have some tips for fans too as well about, getting tickets and certain things. If you want to buy the tickets tonight, go ahead. But what you finna pay is not what I might be paying coming up in the matter of weeks. I'll tell you that right now. But we can put y'all up on game. Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. 95 North said nothing comes close to Jadakiss. Come on now. Berto up north had to mention Jadakiss. Had to go down.
You can't go wrong with that. I see. I feel it.
It's going down. Mr. Smith said, bro, I want to join the travel group. What's the perks that come with it? There's a lot of perks. We just set up something for Tampa yesterday where, the Flash membership, and Saivion, I don't want to take up too much time with this because we have to talk Falcons football.
Brother,
I'll get
please do your thing. This is your spot, man.
I appreciate it. I usually pitch the RISEUP Tour fan club at the end of the podcast, and I know Falcon fans are really excited because we are growing in numbers.
It's amazing.
We have over 1,200 in our group right now, and we're moving in the right direction because Saivion, people want to travel to away games. Right. And they'd love to be with other Falcon fans and the experience of what you guys do on the road. And we've been doing this for 7 years. Right. So fans have been to our parties and some of our events. I met a fan the other day that said, they was at the party in Arizona with Pastor Troy. And I was like, oh, you went to one of our events. And it was like, oh, that was you guys? They're like, yeah, that was us. They know, they see the brand and everything. They just don't know the people behind it. Right. But me and my friend Thomas Scott, that's a long story about how we started it.
Beautiful.
But there's a lot of perks that come with it. The Tampa situation we booked yesterday for everybody that signed up with their Flash membership, that was $52 the past 2 days. We pretty much handed back your Flash membership to you with the discount that we got for the hotels in Tampa. And it was just like, wait, what I just spent, you just gave me back that and more in savings. Like, yeah, bro, that's what we do. So that's one of the perks. We got other perks too as well that we deal with because we're a big group. We got to take care of fans. Like, we're a really big group. But Mr. Smith, I'll give you that information soon. Stevie Carrega is also in the chat too as well. Georgia, Texas boy is in the chat too as well. Angelica Williams is in the chat. This is lit. Like, this is lit right here, Saivion.
What a day!
You jumped in at the
What
right
a
time at 9 something in the
day!
morning to talk Falcons football. Look, Eric Parker
Let's
is in the chat
go.
too as well. Diehard Atlanta Falcon fan. He's also been on the show too as well. Atlanta Dog is in the chat too as well. It is going down in a major way. Berto said IHOP. He said no to the IHOP.
Yes.
No. How are they
in that
still around?
assessment.
How are they still around, Saivion?
I don't know. They probably a front for something at this point. I don't know.
Shit.
I couldn't tell you.
Don't tell me they're involved. Don't tell me they're involved with money
You want to know
laundering.
why? You want to know why? Want to know why? Because
Yeah.
I remember when I was at my prom, that's the place that we went because that was one of the only places that was available because everybody went to Waffle House. We were like, we can't go where everybody go. We got to go to IHOP. So that's what IHOP is good for. IHOP is good for last minute. Ooh, I don't want to go. I don't want to be the ones to to fill up the Waffle House. Let's go somewhere else.
Yeah, and matter of fact, as I think about it, I used to live in California, and I went to school in California too as well. So I do know there is no Waffle House over there. So when it goes to late night food, you have what? There's no Waffle House. Yeah, you got your In and Out, you have your Jack in the Box, Carl's Jr. But when those places close, IHOP is still available. But John said yes. The answer is the Fugees. So
big with Jack, man. I'm telling you, Jack.
Started off early today. I've been hanging with T Will, man. T Will been putting me on game because Deshaun would ask the question and Terry's in the chat like, yeah, I know that one already. Because that's Terry's that's his lane, like old school music. Deshaun, you gotta get some better questions, man. I got some knowledgeable brothers in this chat, man. I mean, they can talk some Falcons football and music. Dwayne Ruffin said it's going down in a major way. And look, a celebrity's in the chat. The Falconator is in the chat.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What a day.
Live from I'm guessing his house up there in NC, North Carolina. Big shout out to the Falconator. Thank you all for joining here on One Time for the Fans. Saivion, let's get straight to it. And to go ahead and start it off, I mean, what's better off than doing this? Get this out the way. Saivion, here comes the cool part. This is when we do the share screen.
Oh, yes.
And, of course, when we do the share screens, we go straight to the Falcons. We go straight to the source. Falcon fans, y'all going to love this. Here we go. You see the schedule release video the other day, Saivion?
It was beautiful.
Now, of course, other NFL teams tried to raise the bar this year on their schedule release videos. Some of them just did not.
No.
But the Atlanta Falcons definitely did. Apparently, they've been voted. There's some type of contest or something. I don't know what's going on I don't know who votes for these things, but they said the Falcons have the number 2 rated schedule release video. Saivion, what do you think about that?
Who's the number 1?
I believe it's the Chargers.
It's always the freaking Chargers. You know what? To even be in that air with them, you got to say that's good because they've been on a heater since we started doing these. So for us to be number 2, I'm completely fine with being number 2 because that's basically number 1 because the Chargers are on a whole nother level. But the simple fact of the concept, man. Drake London down there somewhere. Come on, man.
So I'm understanding a lot of what the references were in the video now because when you first see it, you're so hype about the schedule, you miss some of the stuff. So this was it's the number to the Falcons, but it's also the Taylor Swift beads, right?
Yep.
Because the beads are big for the Swifties, right?
Yep. Not to mention
I did not catch that watching it.
Yep. I mean, and the thing is, there's so many intricacies. Like, of course, you saw the first thing, the water cup for the Panthers. That was just beautifully done.
Which came from Tepper in Carolina when he threw the water on the fan, right?
Yep, in Jacksonville, which is
in Jacksonville, threw the water on the fan, but to keep slipping though instead of keep pounding. That's nice.
Need that because they are going to continue to keep slipping in my eyes.
Sheesh, not 2-15 again.
Sorry. Maybe not 2-15, maybe 3-14 this year.
looking over the schedule release video, do you understand this part? So some would say that this is the guy who does the YouTube videos for the Cowboys.
Now, this one I did not know. This one I had no idea. Is that him? Oh, is that what, Scooter?
Scooter.
Is that Scooter Magruder? He
I
does
mean, the
look like
way
Scooter Magruder.
it looks kind of weird because it's not Dak Prescott, but then the 96 jersey, but then dude is always cutting videos for the Cowboys, right?
96. Is 96 the last time they won a Super Bowl? Or the last time they won a playoff game? Is that what that is?
Well, let's see. Cowboys last ring. Well, let's see.
Do last playoff win. Do last playoff win, because it might be 96 for last playoff win. Win. See, this is what I'm talking about.
Nah.
Oh, go to
96.
When was the last time the Cowboys had a playoff?
2020.
They did win a game last year.
Yeah.
Leave it to Tampa to mess up a good joke.
Shit. That's tough.
leave it to Tampa to mess up a good joke, man.
But let's go look at this schedule here, Falcon fans. I mean, the video was nice with the Falcons drop, but the strength of schedule of Falcon fans are saying it's one of the toughest to start the season. NFL is saying we have one of the weakest schedules. Yes. Right, Saivion, and you know Falcons football. And, of course, looking at this schedule, what are your thoughts to start the season? I mean, Pittsburgh right out the gate, kind of like a revenge bowl with Arthur Smith and some of the former players coming back in Atlanta. But then you have Philly Monday night, and then you have KC by Sunday night. I mean, the joke is for some in the community here that Penix will be playing by week 4. But your thoughts, Saivion, on the Falcons' strength of schedule. I mean, we can go over preseason with Dolphins, Ravens, and Jaguars. Who wants to hear about that? The regular season.
I haven't even looked at the preseason games yet.
Eagles, Chiefs, Saints. First 4 weeks, Saivion. Please. Floor is yours.
So this is going to be the most important stretch of this year, quite honestly, because if they can come out of this, let's say 2-2, let's say they hang tough with the Chiefs and the Eagles and they beat the Steelers and Saints. I think we can come out of this feeling good about the Falcons, like the Falcons prospects, because quite frankly, Kirk Cousins is not good in September. He is 11-25-1, I think, when I looked it up in September. Not great coming out. But if we can somehow find a way to kind of keep it towards 500, and that's going to be my thing for this entire schedule, like for the schedule up until like the bye. Keep it as close to 500 or above 500 as possible. That because the back half of your schedule, like after the bye, from 13 to 18, I'm not saying it's cake. I'm saying it's much easier in that with a team, like if this team develops as we think that they should, there are a lot of winnable games down that back stretch, which will help vault you to the playoffs. But yeah, that first stretch of games, man, you have the Steelers come in for week 1. That defense is disgusting. And then you have Arthur Smith, who will be hell-bent on trying to control the football as much as possible, especially if the offense is as potent as we think it's going to be. Philly and Kansas City, I mean, both of those guys are just those are monsters. I'm going to be honest with you. Those are monsters.
Also, to add to that, the one thing to look at for that Steelers game, it's not Arthur Smith, the head coach. It's Arthur Smith, OC, under Mike Tomlin.
And then Mike Tomlin.
Mike Tomlin didn't want to miss too many times, right? They're going to have a season where they might have some turmoil here and there, but they're going to have a winning record at the end of the season.
The good thing is you're getting them first. You're getting them first, and you're not getting them
in the middle or the end.
When you're not getting them in their developed team. You're getting them first, and they're going to have to. We don't know what Russell Wilson or Justin Fields will look like in an Arthur Smith offense yet. They got to get that camaraderie going. You know, Najee Harris was the last time they won the Super Bowl. Got it. But you see, like they got to get that camaraderie going. You know, they're kind of like us in that way, but I think we have the talent advantage. Hopefully, that's enough. Philly is going to be a dogfight, as it always is, especially with that freaking offensive line. It'll be tough for us to get to Jalen Hurts, be able to, and stopping the run will be a huge for them. And also, who the hell is going to guard Devontae Smith? We know that AJ Terrell will probably be over, probably shadowing AJ Brown.
Mm-hmm.
But if that's the case, who the hell is going to be following Devontae Smith?
Which right now you
Clark
seem
Phillips?
to be putting either a second-year Clark Phillips into the role, or which some are saying a guy who hasn't played football since 2021, Kevin King.
Which I think what they're banking on is Clark Phillips just completely being a dog this year. I think that's what their bet is. It's been that's been one of my big questions since the draft is okay, what are we doing at cornerback? Kansas City, we all know what Kansas City is. We all know what Kansas City is.
We've seen that team before.
And the fact that this is going to be Patrick Mahomes' first time in the Benz is going to be electric. The only time that we've seen Patrick Mahomes, though, we gave him everything that he could handle. In 2020 with Raheem Morris when he was the interim. So I have a little bit of, I feel a bit optimistic there. I'm not saying it's a dub. I'm just saying that we can hang with Kansas City.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Saivion. Yep.
And then I just week 4 and week 5, back to back home division games. Those are must wins, in my opinion.
Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Talking live with Saivion Mixson from the Sporting News. This is great here. Not only do we have Saivion talking Falcons football with us, but we have another show coming up next week with another special guest that I'll make the announcement at the end of this podcast. But Saivion, you're looking at the schedule here. Let's go over the hostile environment that's going to be, played pretty much off the field. The stands, the fans, Steeler fans entering the Benz. Falcons going on the road to the Eagles, then coming back and having Chiefs fans on a Sunday night. And then, of course, you have the Saints to follow shortly after. I mean, I understand, everybody loves going to NFL games, right? I understand these stadiums are going to be packed early. Everybody wants to see their team play. But when you have these big, crucial matchups for a team like the Atlanta Falcons, some people wanted to see us play the Vikings early, right? Play the Commanders early, play the Panthers early, right? Play teams that you would hope that you can easily get a dub on, right? But now looking at the Chiefs fans coming into Benz, the Steeler fans coming into Benz, the Saints fans coming into Benz. Saivion, you're talking about the first 4 weeks for the Falcons going to be lit on and off the field. I mean, the magnitude of just the Falcons playing the Steelers first with Arthur Smith and, of course, CP being over there. I think Scotty Miller's over there, too, as well. Don't forget about Casey. Casey's over there, too, as well.
Michael Pruitt's over there. Yeah, all of them.
Pruitt, too, is over there. I mean, you got to look at some of the players that's played, and then you have your former head coach that's over there. Raheem Morris being a buddy of Mike Tomlin, too, as well. That's also big, but Steeler fans travel well.
Very well.
And I saw some of the screenshots from some of the fans the other night about the ticket prices that they can get if they sell their tickets right now. Somebody posted the other day that they can get almost probably about $600-700 more for their seats that they got for their season ticket price. Selling it, I'm guessing it would be to, I don't know, Steeler fans or other Falcon fans.
Probably a Steelers fan. Yeah.
Probably a Steeler fan. Because Steeler fans, Cowboys fans, those legacy alumni teams, they'll buy up any ticket.
They'll buy that, yeah.
Because they're diehard fans of their team. Then you go to Philadelphia, where if Philly gets their teeth kicked in against the Packers in Brazil, Philly fans are going to be hot come Monday night, and you give them a whole day of drinking too, right? Not no 1 o'clock game. You give them a whole day. You give them a whole weekend. You give them a whole week to get their shit together, right? Because they probably got their ass kicked in Brazil, and then they come up Monday night against us. And they give them a whole day of drinking. And they got the Monday night game. And Eagles fans, they get a little rowdy, right? So we're talking about hostile environments here. And then let's just say you go ahead and you could beat the Eagles. Let's say you beat the Eagles. You come back home to the Benz now. Now you got the Swifties to deal with.
All of them.
You got the media who's not even focused on the game, Saivion. They're not even focused on the game. They're focused on that suite right over there, right above the Chiefs bench.
Yeah.
The Swifties are in the house. And then after that, after you think, you know what, we had 3 tough weeks, Let's get a break here. Now you got the swamp rats coming up into the bins the following week. The
Yeah,
swamp
man.
rats, and they might be there. You know how the Saints fans do it. They might be there waiting outside the gates once the Chiefs fans leave. They sitting outside the gates ready to go in.
Yeah, because it's not like they work.
Shit.
My fault. I'm sorry.
Tough.
That was
That's
unnecessary.
Saivion.
That was unnecessary.
It's 9:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Taking shots at the Saints already.
That was unnecessary. It felt good though.
Saivion, talk to me about hostile environments, man. Especially to the fans here, because you have season ticket holders in the chat. You got fans that's traveling to the Benz. They don't know what game to pick. Do they go to the Steelers game? Should they go to the Chiefs game? Should they go to the Saints game? The first 4 weeks, hostile environment, in your opinion, Saivion.
So I think the most important home game for them is that first one. I feel like I feel like getting off the snide and getting ready for this season with everything that's happened, with all of the talk that's going to come, which I think we're going to talk about later. All of this stuff that is surrounding this team that has nothing to do with 2024. It's all about what's going to happen in the future now. Getting off the snide and getting a good decisive win against the Steelers would probably be the best case scenario for the Falcons. Not even just because of the win, but just because of that validation of, okay, we have something here, not having to kind of, climb back into anything. Not to mention the fact that we're 0-2 against the Steelers in season openers. That has to change. Honestly, I think
Steelers beat us last time at the Benz, right? With Kenny Pickett.
I think the last time, I can't remember the last time we beat the Steelers. It's been a while since we beat the Steelers. But yeah, overall, the Steelers have always had our number. So I think that one is the most important, man.
Falcon fans, you're hearing it from Saivion Mixson from the Sporting News here. The schedule is going to be tough the first couple of weeks, but that's why they went out and got a quarterback that they can trust.
Exactly.
If you put the guy from last year or the year before in this situation, this change probably turning their season tickets back in. They don't want nothing to do with this team no more. They went out and they got the quarterback that they feel like is going to be good for the job, right? And that's how they felt in LA when they had Matthew Stafford, right? It didn't matter about Matthew Stafford's age; it mattered about what he can do on the field, right? And he was a quarterback that was a quick thought processing quarterback. He knows how to get it out quickly to his checkdowns. He knows when to get the ball down the field. He knows how to audible. He knows how to set the right tone for the offense. Kirk Cousins is the same way. And they went out and got a guy. Of course, what the price was for Kirk. It is what it is. I don't even want to talk about the money no more, because now it's time to play the game. The money's over. Now it's time to play the game. So for Falcon fans here that's looking at the team, Kirk Cousins is a good fit because you do have a tough schedule. And we knew about the teams we were playing before we got Kirk Cousins. So let's say that, right? And we knew about the teams that we were playing before we drafted Michael Penix, right? And if you look right now, I believe even the 2025 and 2026 opponents are even up, not showing the dates, but it's on the Falcons website, or I think it's online on FB Scouts, but it shows who we're playing in the future. And they're trying to set up to know that NFL teams not only think about right now, they think about the future.
2-3 years down. Yeah.
2-3 years down the line. So even some of us here in the chat are talking about today, but some of y'all are talking about 2026 in your life, right? So the Falcons made that decision to say, okay, Michael Penix, he's going to be the future. And if something happens to Kirk, we know he's ready to go, right? So for Falcon fans that's looking at the first 4 weeks, don't think about it being a tough start. It's going to be a tough start for some of them other teams because they know that the Falcons have upgraded.
Yep.
Look at what we have over here in Atlanta. Look at what we're building. Look at what Raheem is building too as well. I think the Steelers are going to look at Arthur Smith and say, you left that team one win away from the playoffs. Damn near one sack away from the playoffs. And look what they're doing now. And we have to play them week 1. And of course, every team's making improvements to try to be better. But I see the Falcons going in there and competing those first 4 weeks. I don't see no slump.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Saivion, you have a guy like Kirk Cousins who is throwing for 4,000 yards plus a season. I mean, we're going to get to that just in a second, but let's go over the rest of the schedule here. I mean, after New Orleans, we finally get a chance to take a break. Oh, no, we don't. We got another division rival coming in. It's the Bucks.
And it's the champs. 3-time champs. Back to back to back.
Thursday night. And I guarantee you, for some strange reason, is Tom Brady involved anywhere that he can announce that game? Is he in a position he can do that?
I think he's on Fox. That's going to be on Amazon.
He's on Fox? Okay,
yeah,
that's
going to be on Amazon.
Okay, just want to make sure we stay away from that. I know how they love to, throw sneak disses in our face. Next thing you know, to have Tom Brady doing the damn report.
Now the later one, the one at week 8, with it being in Tampa, that may be Tom's. That may be Tom's.
Okay. So after the Thursday night football game, you do get a little break because guess what? You get to play the Panthers. That's gonna be funny.
Wow.
Week 6 in Carolina. 4:25 game. Have anybody, Saivion, did you notice that? It's a 4:25
I did see that.
Game in Carolina.
I did see that. That's not like a headliner. That's like a semi-headliner, which is weird.
Could that be America's Fox game of the week?
God, I hope not. Oh, Jesus. Yeah,
it could. You have Kirk. America's Fox game of the week is not like prime time, but it's cool for the fans that love the 4:00 games.
I love the 4:00 games. 4:00 games are an underrated thing when it comes to NFL schedules.
Yeah, the Falcons been playing at 1:00 for so long. You're not used to these 4:25 games. You're not used to Saivion, we get Monday night football in the Benz, Sunday night in the Benz.
Yep.
That's a whole day of Falcon fans partying. Them church folks on Sunday get to finally go to church and they don't have to rush leaving church to get on the MARTA. Now you can go to church and then you can go back to the house and catch a little nap if you want.
Like an actual nap, yeah.
Which I see most Falcon fans do because most of y'all coming in there second, third quarter anyway. Get to your seats on time. But after the Carolina game, I was season ticket holder too, so I see what's going on. After the Carolina game, Seattle's in the Benz.
Yep.
Thoughts on Tampa, Carolina, Seattle, Saivion?
I like to be the man. You got to beat the man, and you got to beat Tampa Bay at home. You have to. If you want to be the team that you think you're going to be, you have to be able to beat them. At some point in time, we got to stop Mike Evans. That has to happen. AJ Terrell has not had fun with Mike Evans. I think this might be with his contract extension kind of looming. I think this might be the year that we see AJ Terrell be AJ Terrell. Carolina, it's not much to say. Just play your game, dude. Just play your game. Seattle, I'm very glad we have Seattle in the Benz because nobody wants to go to the 12th man up there. But I really do like Seattle here in Atlanta because they gotta go across some time zones, man. I don't care what nobody says. That is a stressful endeavor, no matter how much of a professional you are.
For the Seahawks, it is traveling from Seattle to Atlanta. And I, as a fan, I've done it going from Atlanta to LA, then back to Atlanta, and then back to Seattle for the game. And I can tell you, man, Seattle is pretty much just like it's up there. It's a good little ways. But yeah, Saivion, you got it.
Yeah, no, and I really like Seattle. I really do. I think that their passing game is underrated to some extent because people are kind of, mellowing on Geno Smith, even though I'm not entirely sure why. He's still a pretty good quarterback. But yeah, I do think these are all winnable games, especially that week 6 right there. But I think these are games that you kind of have to win. You definitely have to be competitive in. So yeah, that's 7 weeks. And mind you, we have a what is it? A late bye this year.
Yeah, week 12.
So this is going to be a marathon to get there. So these are 3 games that you kind of have to be competitive in. Coming out of this 3-0 should be the deal. But coming out of this 2-1, especially if you have a good start, should be fine. Let's say you drop one to like Seattle or Tampa Bay. Okay, but you should still come out of this 2-1, 3-0 at the best.
And you still have Tampa Bay coming back up. You play them twice in a month. So
It's
for Falcon
crazy.
fans, yeah, they set the schedule up to. I wouldn't say it's brutal for us, but don't forget we have to remember they did set the schedule up around the Swifties too as well. Apparently, this Eras tour is a part of this too as well. So maybe that's why the Chiefs had to be Week 3 Sunday night because Swifties said we don't want to go there.
That's hilarious if that's the case.
But that's what truly was reported the other day, that they had to plan things or different games around the tour.
Hey, they saw that salary cap increase this year, and they were like, "Okay, what do y'all want?"
Playing the Bucs twice in a month, and then a team that everybody hates, the Cowboys, bring their fan base into the Bend. So you have the Steeler fan base into the Bends. You have the champs coming to the Bends on Sunday night, right? You have a Saints fan base early into the Bends. You have Thursday night football with the Bucs, right? Seattle, maybe the 12s might travel pretty well. I mean, I understand that they're a pretty big fan base, but that is, that's a long trip right there. Then you also have Dallas. They're right around the corner. Hell, there's a shit ton of that. My neighbor's a Cowboys fan. So you have the Cowboys now in the Bends, and then Week 10 at New Orleans. And then, of course, Week 11 at Denver. Week 8, Week 9, Week 10, Week 11, Saivion.
Mm-hmm. The game that I'm most scared of in this stretch here, Week 11, because you can kind of like you see the bye week, you see that week off. You're just kind of hoping, look, man, let's just get through this. It's Denver, we're looking at Bo Nix or Jarrett Stidham. Look, let's just you heard me. So it's just like, listen, let's just get through this. And let's get to the bye. That kind of thinking can get you beat. You see,
I think that's what kind of was in Arizona, right? That kind of thinking got them beat too as well last year.
Had to be.
Yeah,
had to be. Either that, and I think Minnesota. I think they saw that Minnesota lost Kirk, and they were like, "Oh,
this is it!
Thank God." Yep. And then Josh Dobbs did Pastronaut things, which was insane. As I was covering the Vikings last year for that, and I could not believe my eyes. I was like, why can't anybody tackle him?
And because you were writing for them too as well, how were you getting the information about Josh learning the offensive players' names before the game?
Yep. He learned it right before the game. The center was learning his cadence on the sidelines because they had practiced with Jaren Hall that entire week. so not to open up any wounds, of course, but that entire thing is just insane.
Falcon fans, you're hearing it from Saivion Mixson here with the sporting news. For fans in the chat, we're just going over the schedule here quickly. To wrap it up now, you get out of the bye week. Week 13, a lot of fans wanted Jim Harbaugh here. So I wouldn't say that's like a revenge game, but no, you get a chance to see Jim Harbaugh in the Bends. Chargers, Vikings on the road. People thought that was going to be a primetime game because Kirk gets to go back to US Bank, but no, that's not a primetime game. It's a 1 o'clock game, and it's going to be cold too as well. We're talking about December in Minnesota. I was there for the Week 1 game back in September a couple years ago. It was cold then. So best believe that December game is going to be cold there. Also, Vegas, Monday Night Football in Vegas. And don't expect 100-degree weather out there too as well. It can get a little bit nippy too as well. So pack your sweaters and your jackets, Falcon fans. And, of course, the Giants when they come back before Christmas. Saivion, those 4 games there, Chargers, Vikings, Raiders, and Giants.
Vikings are going to be, of course, amped up to play against Kirk. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Wait, the fans or the players?
Both of them. Both of them. BOFFUM. Both of them.
Even the mascot.
All of them. But yeah, Week 13, I'm very glad that's the game that comes out of the bye because I was really scared about what Jim Harbaugh could be bringing to the Chargers, and I'm glad that Raheem Morris gets an extra week to kind of game plan against that run game. Las Vegas, listen, that's another game where I'm just like, Las Vegas and New York are both games, especially with New York being at home. I'm just like, listen, just play your game. You can't lose those. Those are 2 games that you can't lose. You can't lose against Las Vegas because they have Gardner Minshew throwing the football. Great backup quarterback. He is. He's
Wait,
a
who?
good backup. Yeah, Gardner Minshew, Washington State's finest. Great backup quarterback. He really is. But I just don't want to lose to Gardner Minshew. I'm born and raised in Jacksonville. I lived in Jacksonville my whole life. If my Falcons lose to Gardner Minshew, I'm going to cry.
And this could be a good stretch right here because you're talking about who could be the quarterback here in Week 11 for the Broncos.
That'll be Bo Nix.
Bo Nix, and then you got Justin Herbert, who we're hoping at that time, the Chargers are not doing well because Herbert still is a quarterback that's, he's pretty accurate. He gets on point every now and then.
Justin Herbert is one of those quarterbacks that can really affect the game. I saw him against the Vikings last year, and I'm still having nightmares about it.
Shit. Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And then Week 14, who could be the quarterback there, you think, now?
I'm thinking they still want Sam Darnold there, but if they're not doing well, and if Sam is like, old Sam shits the bed, that could easily be JJ McCarthy. So, either way, it's Justin Jefferson over there, so it's not going to be fun.
That's true. Falcon fans, but look at the quarterback situation. I mean, Kirk versus probably Bo Nix or Jarrett Stidham, or probably JJ McCarthy or Sam Darnold, and then right here, Gardner Minshew, and
or Aiden O'Connell.
Or Aiden O'Connell, and then Week 16, Daniel Jones versus Kirk Cousins. Week
or
17,
Drew Lock if Daniel Jones doesn't do well.
That's why we have Saivion here. Also, Week 17, Jaden Daniels.
Yep.
And then Week 18, Bryce Young. So it's very important that as a quarterback for Kirk Cousins, as a veteran quarterback in this league, you got to take advantage of these games, especially Week 11 through 18.
100%.
To end the season, Week 17 and 18, Saivion, your thoughts?
Washington, I feel like as long as Jaden Daniels doesn't take those, Gumby type hits, he'll still be there. But there is a chance, because he really does not like sliding, that we could be looking at Marcus Mariota in Washington, Week 17. And then Week 18, again, this is Carolina at home. Just win. Just do your thing. They could be better. Awesome. You should be a fully developed team, and you should be looking to the playoffs at this point. But if you're not, which would be a horrible situation to be in, just win your games.
It's very possible if we outrun the South, Saivion.
Yep.
The words outrun the South means you're not winning the division by a game. You already know Week 13, 14, this is over. So it's possible.
You can't go up in seeding. You can't go down in seeding.
Is it possible Week 7, that last week against Carolina, that could be the Penix game?
I would love that. I would love to see that, because Carolina's going to be playing their starters regardless, because they need the reps. But I do believe that we could see Penix, if this season goes as it should, we could see him in Week 17. But I do not expect that. I think that we're going to be up against it when it comes to seeding until about Week 18. And I think that could be the first time we see Michael Penix in Falcons uniform.
Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. You just mentioned something that's very important. I think Falcon fans here need to go back and listen to this podcast and hear what you just said. They have to play their starters because they need reps. I remember us being in a position like we had to do that too as well. Late in the season when we knew we wasn't making the playoffs, and we had to play guys because we knew they needed their reps, versus the Chiefs who had to just, or the 49ers who had to just play guys because why? Well, we're making the playoffs. Our starters are sitting. We're chilling. We're cool. We're good. Yeah. I want that feeling of knowing we're going to the playoffs, and that's why the backups are in, or that's why some of the starters are still in, because of the fact that we're making the playoffs. Right. You have to bench Kirk. You have to put him on the side. You don't want to get Kirk injured Week 17. If you're 13 wins, 12 wins, 14 wins, why is Kirk playing Week 17?
Right. Exactly.
Give Penix a shot. Give him a shot. But then again,
I agree.
I'm not the team, but that's just my opinion of just what I believe here. But let's go to the quarterback play here.
Yes.
Saivion. Fans said that we needed a quarterback in the offseason. Raheem went and got two of them. Now fans are over here chattering about, Kurt, of course, being the starter now and Michael Penix being the future. But the decision about not taking an edge rusher in the draft, fans had to question that. But your thoughts on how fans should really feel about having, these two quarterbacks here on your roster?
So first of all, first things first. Now that we're here, there's nothing we can really do about it. That's what we got. That's what we're at. That's the first things first. Secondly, I have been upset about it for a while. I have, because I didn't like the process. I didn't like the thinking of getting a quarterback when you just paid a quarterback. Like Kirk Cousins is the most expensive bridge quarterback ever now. Like it didn't feel good. But thinking about it, still not a fan of the process. But to understand the defensive talent in this draft, unless you were, hell bent on, Leatu Latu was going to come in and be this guy for us for years to come. This premier edge player for years to come, or Quinyon Mitchell is going to be our cornerback 2 with AJ Terrell. We're set. We're solid for the next 4 years at least at the cornerback position. Unless you feel 100% on that, and you heard how they talked about Penix.
Yep.
They think Penix is the truth.
Yep.
I can't say that it's not a bad pick. I mean, I can't say that it's a bad pick if that's how strongly you feel about your guy.
The explanation has you really looking at it like, okay, they really value this guy.
They really liked him. Like he was QB2 behind Jayden Daniels, which I mean that obviously means QB3 because Caleb Williams. But it's the first time that Kyle Smith said this is the first time that they looked at the board. The quarterback was there. He's probably the top guy on their list. And he was like, look, we're not going to be here again. Just get him.
We're not going to be here again. Had to be the chatter going around in that room.
It had to have been. Look, we're not going to be here again. You see, it's like, why would we be here again? And I have a theory. Tell me if you're with this theory. Remember, nobody really thought that the Falcons were going to take a quarterback. I think the Falcons heard some of the trades that they would have had to do in later years, because the price only goes up for quarterbacks of this kind of caliber. I think the Falcons heard some of the trades that they would have to do in the next couple of years, and they were like, I mean, listen, that's great and all, getting that type of haul, but we're gonna have to do that pretty soon. You know what I'm saying? And
you might give up everything.
We might have to
part
give
of the Mercedes-Benz
a lot of stuff
to get one guy.
We might have to give up a lot of assets, and
versus getting a guy right now in this position,
right?
That we know could help be our future.
Could be our guy. And 2026, I kind of took a quick gander at that. Not the best quarterback class, or not 2025, 2026. I'm not sure, but if you feel like your guy is right here and you just are like, listen, it's bold, and the margin for error for this is really slim. But if it goes the way that you think it's going to go, the Falcons are set for
10-something years plus.
Yeah, almost a decade.
And this is great talking to you because you've done some. You've recently done a report, but you also do your fact checking on a lot of these future college picks. Like you looked into 2025 already. You've looked into 2026 already. So some fans don't even look down that line of who could be the quarterback coming out to the NFL from college. But I think next year everybody's banking on Sanders. They were like, no, trade up to get Sanders. This is what Saivion is talking about.
Carson
those moments where if you want that guy,
do you
just imagine what you got to give up to get him versus sitting at 8 and saying, we got a guy that next year, you know what they're going to do next year? They're going to watch the draft and say, watch how everybody moves for these quarterbacks. And we got a guy, we got both of our guys in the building. They don't have to touch it. They don't have to worry about it. They can go get a corner next year if they want to in the first round. They can get an edge if they want to in the first round. They can get a tackle next year in the first round. They can get whatever they want, but they don't have to worry about a quarterback.
Next year's defensive draft is going to be crazy. So I can kind of understand saying, listen, if we can just kind of tread water for a year, and they did, then they went and got a whole bunch of reinforcements in the middle of that defense. And I think that Raheem and Jimmy Lick are gonna have a lot of fun moving them around. But I think that they're like, look, if we could just tread water for just a year, I think we'll be okay. I think we can get our guy, our premier guy next year.
Could be the wide receiver too. You never know. It could be.
That's big next year too.
I mean, who do you think right now? Just looking ahead, because you've done, a little bit of research on next year's draft class. Who do you think the Falcons right now would go draft? Looking at the roster, looking at some of the players who could be out the door by next year in contracts, who do you think they could be looking at to draft? Not to calling any names or anybody, or just what position at least.
Positionally, I can say that I was thinking defensive line before we went and put four different draft picks into it. So I'm thinking we're going to go either edge or corner. Edge rushers, we got plenty in this draft. The best player in the next year's drafts, or projected best player, is James Pierce Jr. out of Tennessee. I'm not going to get him, but I mean, it's going to be guys like that. There's going to be Nick Scorton out of Purdue, seems to be a huge name for 2025 mock drafts. You can see a corner fall. I'm not going to put any names. I'm not going to put any more names out there, but just expect edge and cornerback for next year.
Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. It's going down in a major way. We have Saivion Mixson here from the Sporting News talking Falcons football with us. Chat is live. Chat is lit. You know how it is when we have special guests here on the channel. Might be a little difficult to get to everybody's comments, but we do want to get to a lot of people's comments too as well. Lisa Shepard's still laughing at the both of them. Both of them. That's Atlanta, man. Both of them. Come on, man. It's going down in a major way. Carrie said Jay-Z turns 55 this year. Where has
Carrie,
the time?
Please. I was good with 50s. Sheesh. I could think, okay, he's like 51. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, early 50s. That's mid 50s. That hurts even worse.
Shit. Falcon fans, hit that like, share, subscribe button. Kenneth's in the chat. 7 wins, 10 losses.
Whoa!
This is a Falcon fan here, Saivion.
Whoa, Ken, that's
crucial.
That is a level of pessimism I was not expecting today.
I do want to say it's 10 o'clock on a Friday morning that he's in here.
But it's Friday.
Yeah. On a Friday. Before the weekend is starting now. Summer is here. I mean, Falcon fans, we got it. We're going to be outside more. But Kenneth.
Are you sure? Kenneth might not be.
7 wins, 10 losses. Come on, Kenneth.
I'm just playing, man. You are entitled to your opinion. You are entitled to your opinion.
All Falcon fans are entitled to their opinion.
Absolutely.
Timothy Harris is in the chat. He said, when are y'all going to have information on the Vegas trip? That will be posted in the RISEUP tour group soon. And a lot of the information for fans that do not know is posted in our members group, right? You guys see the RISEUP tour group. We have a members group too. There's a private group that once you sign up, they get the information first, like the host hotel and everything that we do, all of that stuff. They get that information first because they have to sign up first because they've already paid for the memberships. And then everybody else, we just put everything else out there. But we got to take care of the members first. We got to take care of the crew first. Then we take care of everybody else. But once the crew is taken care of, everybody else is involved. So Vegas information. I actually got to make a couple calls in a minute. It's 7 o'clock in Vegas, I think. So it's like, wake them up. I'm going to wake them up on some business shit in a couple minutes.
100%.
Hey, got to. It's Vegas. They're all for it. The crazy thing about it is we hit a promoter the other day because we was planning something at this casino. And literally 2 minutes later, we got a text message back like 11:30 at night. Like, what the hell? He's like, hey, my name is such and such. Hey, we can get this situated. Here's my email. Here's my number.
Sleep.
Like, bro,
it's 7 o'clock over there. I think there are people that are still there from 9 o'clock last night.
Matter of fact, it's 7 o'clock right now. There's a club probably still open right now where people is walking out of it, probably looking on YouTube like there's guys in Atlanta doing a podcast.
There's the guys in Atlanta doing a podcast right now. What are y'all doing? Like, bro, it's 10:00 over here. Breakfast about to end.
Falcon fans, hit that like, share, subscribe button. Here in the chat, we got James Overton in the chat. Corner and a tackle. Possibly he can see.
Oh, I didn't even think about tackle. Yeah, Jake Matthews can only play for so long.
Jake Matthews. I think next year, Falcon fans, if you're looking at the draft, they're going to say, well, Jake is probably going to be a Hall of Famer. He's a legend here in Atlanta. Got to retire the jersey, the number, the name. He'll probably even take the shoes and hang them up on top of the Mercedes.
Hang them up over
He's Atlanta Falcons, man. Grady Jarrett, Jake Matthews. Remember these names here because they are giving it their all for this team. Carrie's in the chat too as well. Completely agree, Saivion. Front part of the schedule is tough, but after that, I have us going on a 7-game win streak heading into the playoffs.
That's the thing. We have a chance to be the hottest team. No, he does not, Carlo. I do agree with that. No, he does not. Apparently, Penix is out there and he's ripping it.
He is. He's ripping it so hard that sometimes the players can't even catch the ball. But we're not going to even speak on that.
Oh, poor Chris Blair. I mean, it was right.
Was that the first pass caught on camera too as well?
Man, that's one of the first things that you see. I wanted to go to Flick, and I would shout out to Daniel Flick, man, doing great work over at Sports Illustrated. Man, I wanted to go to Flick and be like, hey, man, edit that.
I remember being in the Falcons chats, and I'm taking care of work and some other things. I just keep seeing like Blair come like follow up on my screen. I'm like, what the hell is Blair? Where the hell is this Blair name keep coming from? And everybody's talking about the video, and it's like, oh man, that's not the way you wanted to do it, Blair. That's not the way you want to be known in the community. Not the first pass.
It's a tryout. It's a tryout for him. It was, oh my god.
Fans are in the chat like, cut him.
Like we can't cut him. He's not even on the roster yet.
And fans in the chat, we're not bashing the players. We don't do that. We keep it real. We have some jokes here, but it's a business in the NFL, and the best 53 goes forward, right?
Exactly.
And I think the players understand that too as well. We was in the chat here the other night talking about Richie Grant with his play one-on-one versus tight ends, and how some NFL journalists have said, well, the Falcons need safety help still. And that's what they're looking at as the biggest hole on the team.
Journalists. I won't say it was the biggest hole. I was one journalist that said that.
Do you still think right now it's one of the biggest positions they need to fill?
I wouldn't mind one, but it is.
You don't see the kid from Tennessee get drafted? I mean, the kid from Tennessee that just came over.
Oh, Cruikshank?
Yeah, Cruikshank.
I like Cruikshank. I like Cruikshank as a tight end eraser. I do think that he would be better as a big nickel.
Really?
I do think he's better as a big nickel, more of a kind of like a, what is it, customized role, for him. But, if the thing with Richie is he was kind of like forced into covering tight ends last year, because we ran that one high so much. We had Jesse kind of roam and let him do his thing. And we were like, hey, Richie, go guard that tight end. And it's like, Richie can't do that. So, Richie can't do that per se. But if you get Richie, if you get Richie more to kind of come back a little bit, to come back a little bit, be able to see the field a bit more, I think you'll be able to get a better Richie Grant than what you got. Because if you let him just go downhill from back here, you're gonna have a lot more success from Richie Grant than saying, hey, go guard who was the tight end from the Tampa that took the top?
Oh, that was Cotton, wasn't it?
Yeah, K. Dotton. Yeah,
K. Dotton.
Go guard K. Dotton in the red zone. It's like,
or the Arizona game when Cuz called him out after the game, like, yeah, I already knew the matchup was going to be in my favor. Like, bro, what is your name? Like, who are you? I ain't never seen this guy. I ain't never picked him up in my fantasy a day in my life. This dude over here talking about you over here torturing our safeties.
That's Mayfield's second favorite target, I think. No, Godwin. It's still Godwin. So I think he's third. But no, come on, man. No, I saw that. No, that hurt. That hurt a little bit. That hurt a little bit.
Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. The fans are here in the chat talking Falcons football.
Get it. What is going on, man? What? Who? Hey, bro.
My man's on the Ritter bus for a while too, as well. Even after the Kirk Cousins news,
so he's been hurt.
Justin Fields news, and I mean, just rumors back there in the speculation time of who could be here. Yeah. It was always Kenneth with no, it's Ritter. they're talking about it. Terry's mentioned it, and we kind of said no, they haven't mentioned that. But then again, if Kenneth is that type of fan, we understand. If he's going to show, hey, he said 7 wins, so he got us winning some games, right? He got us winning somewhere.
He got us winning some. Hey, that sweep of Carolina is going to be crazy.
So if they get 9, Kenneth, surprise. I'm just saying. But if you're a diehard fan, if you got Falcons gear, if you got your Falcons jersey, if you show up to the Benz, Kenneth, rep the team, rep the brand. I understand how you feel. I've seen your comments in the chat about, Fontenot and Raheem and, this team is not ready to go win. That's everybody. Fans have their own opinion, right? Mm-hmm. Jay Black might be in here saying that he loves the team, but he's just not a big fan of the running back room or the wide receiver room or the offensive coordinator. That is what fans, they're going to find different things that they don't agree with. And that is perfectly fine. So fans in the chat, don't beat him up. Now, there's a Jags fan in the chat you can go at. He comes in here talking shit all the time. And he's a Jags fan of all things. But yes,
yeah, I know. To go off of Jay Black's point, this is a huge year for AK-47. They're putting a lot of pressure on him to kind of take that next step in development. Because if AK-47 does not produce like he did, which mind you, he had 6 sacks last year. He had 6 sacks last year. I think he was 3rd on the team. Mm-hmm. So, he took one step. Mm-hmm. I think they'd look for him to take another one and be a good complement to Braylon Trice as he develops, into what he's going to be. And if that happens, you could see us more looking towards tackle, looking towards corner in the next draft instead of looking towards the edge rusher like Jay Black, I think he's trying to say.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's big that Arnold Ebiketie now, because Bud Dupree and Calais Campbell's not here. Bud Dupree's with the Chargers,
right?
Calais Campbell, which some are saying
13 sacks gone.
D'Angelo Malone gets a chance to step up in a major way now this season. Let's see what he can do. And then however they're going to scope this team out with some of the other players, Troy Anderson. Of course, I think they're putting a lot on their defensive line to get to the quarterback. They put a lot of muscle up there, too, as well, to push that pocket. Mm-hmm. And I'm all for it. Coverage sacks, coverage blitzes, however you guys want to do it. I heard there's not too much man in this 3-4 that they might be running.
No.
Hey, let's go out there and win these games. I'm all for the scheme. I'm all for this stuff. See, I'm not into that right there. I'm not on the field with the coaches, right? I like to see the stuff behind the scenes and talk about what they're doing, and we get to find out what the team's doing. But that 3-4 scheme they're getting ready to run, they brought in some big bodies. That linebacker room that Myles Garrett mentioned the other night is looking good. So big shout out to Myles Garrett for Fox 5. He was with us. But you still have Jesse Bates. You have AJ Terrell. You have Grady Jarrett. You have David Onyata. You have Nate Landman. Look at what Nate Landman has done the past 2 years here.
The fact that we can say Nate Landman in that group of players is absolutely insane.
The fact that you can say Nate Landman is bigger than, come on, right?
That is crazy to me. Like, we picked up Nate Landman, and I looked at it and I was like, all right, cool. He might be able to do something on special teams. And then he comes in with Troy Anderson gets hurt.
Yeah.
It becomes the primary plug, a hole plugger. Like, it was like, all right, man, cool.
Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. We getting ready to wrap it up here. Got another thing to talk about. Tyreek Johnson is in the chat. Kevin King starting man as he gets killed by Scotty Miller. Oh shit! Talking about week 1. Sheesh.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That'll be fun to think about. They ever put Kevin King in the slot, which I hope they don't. That could,
sheesh. Some would say you want Antonio Hamilton out there, or D. Alford out there, or Clark Phillips out there, but Kevin King, that's tough. That is tough. Lisa Shepard said, I remember that. I was like, sir, who are you? LOL, and shaking my head. A1 Forever's in the chat. Big shout out to A1 Forever, Rise Up content creators in the chat. Going down in a major way. Kenneth said, prospects, not players. Defense wins games. Defense wins championships. Saivion?
100% correct. He is. Defense does win games. Defense does win championships. Defenses can also get hot if they. And we've seen that. We've seen that with this team. I'm not saying that that's going to happen. I'm just saying that with the amount of talent that we have on that side of the ball, if the scheme is going well, if they develop and become a cohesive unit by the end of this year, this could be a team, especially with the way that this offense is constructed. If this offense does like it's supposed to, yeah, it could be a problem for other teams.
Oh my gosh! In the chat, I'm sorry. In our red and black room over here, the Falcon room. Well, we don't have a special guest. We have T. Will here with us. And
good morning.
Yo, good morning.
Big shout out to T. Will here on the podcast
morning.
talking Falcons football with us. But T. Will, I know you're just joining us. I know you have a lot going on, so I'm glad that you have a time to or take some time to come over here and chat with us.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
If we want to get to Falcons football,
Saivion.
we can, T. Will. We don't have to just go straight into Falcons football. If you have anything you want to say, you can. But, our thoughts and prayers go out to you, my friend.
Thank you. No, man, let's keep it Falcons. Obviously it's hey, Carrie, and to our esteemed guest, good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, boss man. Happy to see you. Happy to converse with you, man. Of course, hey. Happy to be talking ball with some really devoted Falcons fans, man. I really appreciate you guys and what you guys do over here, man. Y'all are killing the game.
Well, thank you.
I appreciate it, man.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you. We love our Falcons. We love to talk Falcons, man, and we're just excited about the season. And hey, don't let me stop you, Jack. You guys go ahead. You guys were getting after it, and I agree. I think let me ask you a question.
Sure.
You guys, what do you guys think? 80% zone this year? What 70%? If you had to put a number to it, what would you say?
I want to say last year it was like 64-36, but with the personnel that we have, I think we're going to be more zone heavy, especially with the fact that we don't have that solidified cornerback too. If you want to put Clark Phillips over there, I think you're going to have to play more zone. So I think you're going to see it be a bit more like 70-30, 75-25. But I do think that you have AJ Terrell who thrives in zone coverage. So it's completely fine with me if you want to do that. My only thing is like the red zone, you kind of don't have that size that can go up against those bigger receivers.
Yeah.
I keep going back to Mike Evans. That's the big one that keeps coming to mind for me.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, yeah, AJ Terrell, cool, but let's say that Chris Godwin's having a game. You're gonna have to put AJ Terrell on him.
Yeah.
And who's gonna be guarding Mike Evans in the red zone.
Yeah.
It's just little things like that come to my mind. But overall, I think that it will be about 3/4 to a quarter, 3/4 zone quarter, man. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you this. Obviously, in hearing some of the interview this morning, and again, I apologize. Yesterday was an involved day.
Please don't. Please don't.
You have a very granular approach to information, which I'm all about the details. I love. How long have you been a Falcons fan, and what made you fall in love with them?
So what's crazy is I was born in Jacksonville, Florida. Like I can literally go around and say Duval and it's okay. I was not really a Jaguars fan. I was just kind of like a football fan, and I was like, man, I need me a team. And I knew that it wasn't Jacksonville because you feel it when you're a fan,
Right.
And then 04 came, and I saw that dude, and that 7 years, man. Or not 04, 03 came, excuse me. 03 came. I saw that dude
was something
in that 7 jersey. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, he was something, man. So let me ask you this. Give me your favorite Michael Vick moment.
Favorite Michael Vick moment that I can recall. Had to be that Minnesota game. Had to be that Minnesota playoff game. It was so crazy watching that because,
oh my God,
because you were on your edge, and then you were on the edge of your seat the entire game, and then you get to overtime, and you're like, all right, man, how are we going to actually win this game? And then Vic just
took off.
Just a magic act.
Right.
To somehow get into the end zone. And I just remember sitting there and I was like, okay.
What just happened? Yeah, that was, bro, I'm telling you something. He drops back and he starts to, and the thing about it is you never knew with him.
Didn't know
when he was going to take off, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the rules back then were, at that point, OT is sudden death, right? There's no, you get this net. Yeah, you score, you win. You don't, you lose, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Vic takes off, man, just takes off. And you're like, oh, okay, he got by this guy. And when he makes the two defenders missed, I'm like,
oh,
holy crap, because that almost never happens in the NFL.
It's not supposed to. You're not supposed to do that.
Right. You never see two guys front and back just completely whiff and hit each other. And the thing about it is as I'm watching it, I'm so distracted because I'm looking at the two guys hit each other like, oh my God, that I don't realize he's about to score.
There's nobody else back there.
And he scores, and I'm still like, what just happened? I think, like, for me, Vic was enigmatic.
Mm-hmm.
He was unique. For me, like, there were literally a litany of plays that I could choose, but my favorite one is the Carolina game where he literally scrambles. I think it's 4th and goal.
Yeah.
And he takes off, scrambles, and jumps from the 5-yard line. And when he jumps, I'm like, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Like, what? And then you watch him, and he's literally like Superman as he extends, right? And you see him clear, and his knees don't touch, and he scores. And they went back and checked that replay like over and over and over again.
A human being is not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to have that kind of explosion to be able to get from the 5-yard line to the end zone. Yeah.
It's a cool little Willie Beeman, Michael Vick moment there.
Yeah,
100%.
He was, he was just phenomenal, man. He was phenomenal.
I apologize about stepping away too as well. I had contractors at my house and somebody ran out and said, give me the keys. And I'm looking over like, give you what?
All good,
give me the keys. Like, what keys?
All good.
I'm like, oh shit, the keys. I had to go run upstairs. But I do have to take care of something here in a minute. So I want Falcon fans to enjoy their Falcons Friday because this is Falcon fans talking Falcons football on a Falcons Friday. I do have some shout outs and some upcoming event information to give away. But Saivion, before we get you up out of here, got one more question for you, my brother.
Sure.
Falcon football, Falcons fans, you see how it is with Saivion's here in the chat? We said 1 hour. We're already crossing that, and we're getting ready to probably go into a couple more minutes here. Kirk Love's thrown for 4,000 yards in the season. I think we've seen that before, Falcons fans. We've seen that in Washington. We've seen that in Minnesota. And matter of fact, as you're sitting here watching, I know those of you that's listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon Podcasts, you can't see it, but we got the stats up here on the screen. For fans in the chat, you're looking at Kirk Cousins' stats. Let me go ahead and drop the banner. I know T-Will's going to get on me. I'm covering his face too as well. And the other night, Kerry, big shout out to Kerry. I had the banner up. You know, Kerry's our new podcast to hear it one time for the fan, and we introduced Kerry here. But I had about 45 seconds of the banner covering Kerry as she was talking. So fans in the chat was like, "Who is that talking?" Because we don't see nobody.
Perfect.
It's a rite of passage, Shaq. You know what I mean? You know,
but big shout out.
We have to do that to rookies sometimes. You know, it's okay.
Yeah,
I've certainly had my face covered in the banner. You know, hey, it's okay.
Bodie too as well. It's happening.
What's it called? You got to get the tape off the helmet. You got to.
That's right. Got
to get the jersey dirty sometime. Got to get the jersey dirty sometime.
It's hazing.
It's hazing.
You got. Come on now, not in 2024. And I didn't go to FAMU either. Hold on, no shots to FAMU. No shots to FAMU. I ain't gonna say that. Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Kirk Cousins, Saivion, you left to throw for 4,000 yards in the season.
Mm-hmm.
You can see it right here on the screen, Falcon fans. I mean, even him getting injured last year, he was on pace for more than 4,000 yards. But in 2022, 4,500, 4,200, 4,200. 3,600 back in 2019. We're not even going to get to that year. But before that, 4,200, 4,000, almost the 5,000 yard year when we went to the Super Bowl. 4,100 yards too as well. So Kirk loves throwing for 4,000 yards in the season. It's possible he's going to do it again this year. So Saivion, the question to you is, with a quarterback like that, right, what two offensive players you think will benefit the most from having a quarterback who can throw for 4,000 yards on your team? Because it's been a while since we've had a quarterback who can throw for 4,000 yards on our team. But your thoughts about that, Saivion?
So, number one, that 2019, the only reason why he probably didn't go for 4,000 is because Dalvin Cook looked like a monster that year. But to answer your question, two players that could benefit. Number one, Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts.
Yeah. Have not seen the best of Kyle Pitts yet. I believe there was Zach Robinson because I was going to say Drake London, but then I thought about it. I'm like, Drake London looked good with Marcus Mariota. Drake London looked good
with Desmond Ridder.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
you can look even better with Kirk.
Kirk. Oh my God. But I think Kyle Pitts, because he's finally coming off the injury. He's finally going to look like Kyle Pitts again. And we saw what Kyle Pitts looks like when he has a competent quarterback. We've seen it. We know that he can line up pretty much anywhere. I love the fact that he's a tight end pretty much in name only, because he's just a huge dude on the outside that can just win. But the second player that I picked, Bijan Robinson.
Yes.
I did I did an article this morning about the Falcons projection. And did you know that we ran into a loaded box, seven or more defenders, 74% of the time last year.
Yeah.
74% of the time. Eighth best in the league, or eighth most in the league. The Rams ran into 64% of them. That was 30th last year. 30th. Being able to spread that ball out and for it to be an actual threat, for there to actually be a threat of, okay, Darnell Mooney can get the ball real quick on an out route, or you'll find Drake London crossing your face. You have to actually be scared about that. And
on Rondale Moore too. Rondale Moore in that short game.
Rondale Moore can get it on
5 to 20
swing
quickly.
pass.
Quickly.
Yes.
Yeah. The
fact that you have to deal with that, you forget about the fact that we have two monsters in the backfield.
Yeah.
Studs. That can really run the football and can make something and have made something out of nothing for the past 2 years. Bijan Robinson had over 1,400 yards from scrimmage last year. I did not know it was that. I didn't know it was that freaking prolific. Those two could be, but mostly Bijan. I think Bijan's going to be the primary guy. Those two could be a problem. This could be an elite running game again. And if you know Falcons football, I know you guys know Falcons football. Whenever the Falcons have a good running game, that's when we're the most dangerous. So
because we're balanced. Because
we're balanced. Exactly.
Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. T-Will, question goes to you before we go ahead and get Saivion up out of here real quick.
I'm going to say Kyle Pitts, definitely. To Savion's point, the last competent quarterback he had, and again, no disrespect to any players, really was Matt Ryan. And even that version of Matt Ryan was an elder statesman at the time, and probably slowing down a bit, right? He didn't have in his prime Matt Ryan. He's going to have Kirk Cousins, and he's healthy. And I just think you can't cover everybody, right?
Nope.
You got Rondale Moore at the 2. You got Drake, who is, reminds me a lot of Mike Evans, if you want to know the truth.
Just a ball winner on the outside,
right?
Yeah.
You've got you throw a set in there where you got, I don't know, Rondale Moore or whoever else. You can't cover everybody. So if you're going to cover Kyle with a linebacker, good luck. And I agree. Not only will Bijan and or Tyler do well in the running game, because to his point, you can't have 7 and 8 box. We will kill you in an 8 box. We will kill you, right? So you got to find that balance. You got to disguise this to a certain extent. But either way, the numbers favor that. But what about the checkdowns? What about the checkdowns, right? You throw it to Bijan on a 7-yard, in or angle route or whatever, and there's nobody around him. Oh my Lord. Or you got, you're in a run formation and we mess around and pass it, and you have a big old ugly, when I say big ugly, I mean basically a linebacker that's in there to hit. He's not really in it, and you have him on Bijan. Good luck with that.
The matchups, because of Kirk, makes
Correct.
it kind of impossible for a lot of teams. I mean, there's some teams that can going to be able to cover it. I mean, Falcons, you know what happens in the NFL all the time. I mean, they're not going to just drive down the field every single series and score. Teams going to be able to make stops. So, I'm not going to say that they're going to go 17-0 straight off the bat, but I'm saying that there are some matchups. I mean, big shout out to Eric Parker and the fans that do believe in all the wins and no losses.
17-0.
I'm all for it because I'm a diehard fan too. But there are fans that's going to say, we know how to shut down Kirk. We know how to shut down this offense, right? And they're going to have to find other ways to scheme up wins.
And that's just simply not the case.
I don't see that. I'm going to tell you something. I don't see that.
It's tough.
Because what I keep saying is Kirk has an assortment of weapons that I don't think anybody's ever like. We're 6 deep.
We're deep. I mean, we're 6 deep creeping in a DeVille sitting on D's with the suspension speaking.
And you, bro, and I guess what I'm looking at is you got Kirk who knows the game. You know what I mean? So he's coming to all right, I'm looking at this formation already. I know I'm going to my third option. I don't even have to look 1 and 2. I know what it is. I see the formation. You had that. We've never had that with this current assortment of players. We haven't had that.
That's what makes me feel good about the team this year, is knowing that Kirk Cousins is behind that quarterback to see against the Steelers, to see against the Chiefs, to see against the Eagles. If you would have put, old buddy from last year, it'd be a different situation. Absolutely. But I do see that,
You see the vision.
I see the vision. Yeah. I'm all for Raheem Morris. I'm all for what they got going on. And then, of course, with them being out there at OTAs and these videos they keep posting, I'm ready for the season to start. But I do think that Kurt is going to make guys around him better. 4,000-yard passer. But like Saivion said, you focus so much on what Kirk can do offensively, throwing the ball, totally forget about you got 2 solid monsters in the backfield that when they hand the ball off, Tyler's rookie year was 1,000 yards, and Bijan was almost 40-some yards from clipping it last year. So it's like you got to watch them, because if Kurt really wants to do it, we could beat you up in the run game. Our identity can be shown in different ways this year. That's why I'm so glad.
Exactly. It can shift from game to game. The fact that you have
from game
to game. The fact that you have that variety of sorts to kind of rely on, whether you want to, you can kind of air it out if you want to, but you have Kyle Pitts, you have Rondell Moore, you have it's going to be a name that nobody wants to hear, but Casey Washington. I really do think that he could be able to be one of those guys that can stretch the field a little bit. But
I think that's a name that people want to hear. That's your rookie draft pick. You want the guy to
Yeah, but I'm not going to put any pressure on the guy yet. No. But, you have those guys that can stretch the field. I don't know about Darnell Mooney. Darnell Mooney is more of a route technician. But, you have those guys that can stretch the field, or you can have those guys that can run, that can work the middle, like Darnell Mooney, like Drake London, like Kyle Pitts. You have those guys that can take it from 5 yards out and take it 20 yards, like Rondell Moore, like Bijan Robinson, like Tyler Algier. You know what I'm saying? Like you can do that, and you can also be physical because you have an offensive line that is very good in the run game. And you can control the ball. It just depends on what is necessary at that time. And nobody likes to hear, oh, you have all these things, so you're not really a master of anything. You're right. You're not a master of anything for real. But you are a jack of trades, and you are a jack of trades that sometimes can be what's the thing? Jack of trades,
master of one.
Yeah, jack of trades, master of none, but sometimes can beat a master of one. That can happen.
Yeah,
that can happen.
I think because of our offensive prowess, that play action game is going to be severe.
So nasty.
Yeah, I mean, it you know what I mean? I honestly see this offense scoring about 30 points a game. And that you said what?
No, I was going to say you can't forget about the speed that was taken away from Scotty Miller, but the speed that was added with Rondale Moore. Like he's also a quickster too as well. 4.3, I think Mooney ran right here in the chat. You see that too as well. So they added speed. They added some guys that can be clinical down the field.
He can. I haven't seen him do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Darnell Mooney can. I just haven't seen him do it at a consistent rate. But I think he can.
Yeah. Terry?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I think with the speed we added the missing element.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're going to stretch the field.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to stretch the field, which means Drake and Kyle and everybody else we talked about, somebody's going to be wide open. And we have a field general that can find them.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to score 30 points a game.
If you keep talking about the 2016 moment that Raheem keeps mentioning, and you take me back to that moment, I saw a bunch of people open. I saw the fullback, tight end, running back. I told you I caught a touchdown that year. I don't know if you can find the video, but I caught a touchdown too. I don't know why.
That was after the 80 on the run, Jack?
I don't know why YouTube doesn't pull up the clip. I continue to try to look at the clip. It's not there. But everybody was open. I mean, there was a couple games where, Matt Ryan was just like, boom, 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 boom. First half, everybody's eating. Second half, boom, straight out to everybody else. The mascot, Freddie, caught a pass. Like, anybody can catch a pass in that offense.
Free Jack Spade.
You talk about the Shanahan system, the McVay system, the LaFleur system. Raheem keeps talking about that because he came from that to where he won a Super Bowl pretty much with that over there with LA too as well, right? He's been around a consistent group of coordinators and smart minds that know how to call plays, right? And I know he was open. Yeah, I know he was also thrown into two situations, the Tampa and then also down here where it wasn't the right moment, but now is the right moment. I think the Super Bowl can happen in the next 5 years.
Definitely.
The next 5 years.
I'd say within the next 3 years. And
well, I'll go ahead. I'll one up you. I'll go ahead and say this year. So you want to go? I love it. Go ahead and say that.
Hey, you'll get no argument from me, and you really won't get an argument from my brother because then he'll go, "Yeah, we're going 20-0."
Eric just heard that and said, "You damn right. That's that."
He sure did.
Turn that shit up. Turn it up.
He sure did. That's absolutely what he said.
He's probably in the car right now,
or something. Yeah.
Big shout to Eric Parker. Big shout to T-Will. Big shout to Saivion. Saivion, I do got to run because now my kids just emailed me and said, "You ready?" Like, all right. So, Saivion, quickly, we're gonna get you back on this podcast because you can see I could have gave you 1,000 more questions to talk Falcons football, right? We could have went over Jesse Bates talking about his defensive performance this season and what could fans expect. Grady Jarrett coming back, Jake Matthews. We don't even talk about Dahlman as much here on the channel. I mean, Saivion, with you here on the podcast, I know why New Millennial Falcons podcast is so great. I mean, you guys have a group of masterminds that talk Falcons football in a magnificent way. And you just being over here on the channel right here, fans are enjoying it, right? They're here at 10 o'clock in the morning, 9:30 in the morning, whatever, talking Falcons. I mean, the West Coast crew at 7:30 over there, and they're up getting their kids ready for school or going to work or sitting in traffic. If you're in LA, which I know some of the people here in the chat is in LA, if you're sitting in that traffic in LA,
I'm so sorry.
Sorry for you.
I'm so sorry.
We're here in Atlanta and traffic's actually kind of smooth today. I guess it's because of the weather. Or
you better knock on wood.
Shit. Thank you, Terry. It's going down in a major way. Saivion, I'm going to pull up your Twitter page here, right?
I appreciate that.
So for Falcon fans in the chat, if you guys are watching, definitely want to head over to Saivion's Twitter page. You want to make sure you can get a chance to follow not only what he has going on, but of course the sporting news tool as well. You're with the sporting news.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
It's amazing, man. Network manager over there. I get to kind of run the site a little bit. I got some great guys over there with me. The guys that are actually on the New Millennium Falcons podcast. We got Fleek, Hunter, Trey, and our guy Kenny Grits that came in.
Kenny Grits.
Yes, sir. Grits Blitz, baby. Grits Blitz on Twitter. Sir. Yeah, you can find all of those guys' handles right there at NM Falcons. Mm-hmm. You'll find all of their handles on there too. But yeah, it's been amazing, man.
Falcon fans, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. I see you also have Atlanta Falcons. What's this? Around the Block?
Around the block, yeah, around the block, because that's the network that allows us to continue to be New Millennium Falcons. We so much appreciate them. Around the block, atbnetwork.com. They are absolutely amazing. They have a great set of podcasts that they do that have to do with betting around the NFL draft. If you want to get into hockey, they do hockey. You know how they say in that hockey, let's do that hockey. They do
and there
that.
possibly could be a hockey team here in Atlanta very soon.
Oh, I cannot wait. I need a hockey team, and that'll be perfect for me.
Falcon fans, hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe button. If you're watching here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you're checking in from, you can see right there where to go follow Saivion. I'll put the link to Savion's sporting news. Now, they can go straight to the sporting news and follow you, or you have to go to a...
Still working on it. You can go to my stuff, and then you got to kind of go to everybody's as far as everything goes. But basically, I post everything on my Twitter from when it comes to their articles. So I'll be retweeting a bunch of their stuff today anyway.
I'll be posting the link right there on the YouTube description. Falcon fans in the chat, definitely head on over to Saivion. Follow Savion's page on social media too as well. And then, of course, we got to get Saivion back, because I know why New Millennial Podcast is doing numbers over there, because of Saivion, because of Damski, because of Fleek. And Fleek has been on the channel before, right? I haven't had a chance to get Damski on the channel. Damski was on.
That's because that man is busy. He's
super busy. And he mentioned the other night on Out of Your Falcon Mind that he has time to cut a podcast soon. So hopefully we can get him on over here on One Time for the Fans.
Try. You better get him now, because we ain't had him on his own podcast. So do what you can.
He has a secretary we got to speak to.
I don't know. I've been trying to get in contact with him. I keep getting kicked off the calendar.
I've been on a panel before with Trayshawn too as well. So what you guys got going on over there is great, right? Hats off to the crew. Continue doing good things. Also with the sporting news, continue doing good things over there too as well. T-Will, before we get Saivion up out of here, any words for Mr. Saivion?
Well, hey, I just followed you on Twitter and looking forward to it. And let me tell you something, man. I love your energy. And I love Fleek's energy. Fleek was on the very first show that I appeared. And I remember him from that. And I just think it's great to see someone young, passionate about the Falcons, and someone young, articulate, and clearly loving not only football, but loving the Falcons, right? And dedicated. So I'm just excited, man. I'm going to follow your content every day. Last night, obviously extenuating circumstances. I apologize. Quite candidly.
Please don't.
I went to sleep at 7 this morning and woke up at 9:45 or whatever with the Home Alone. Right. And I was just like, you know what? Let me just see if I can jump in there. But please come back on the show, because there are a litany of questions that I would love to throw your way. I just love to hear your opinions on some topics from the past, going forward, present day. So I love it. Enjoyed it. Thank you for gracing our show with your presence. And hey, man, thank you for allowing me to be on this show, Jack, to meet this gentleman. So, yeah, go ahead. Saivion, floor is yours.
Hey, man, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, follow us over at thesportingnews.com. T-Will, thank you. T-Will and Jack, man. Thank y'all for gracing this, gracing my presence with this show. This show is absolutely amazing, man. I freaking love the fact that you guys are out here doing it up, man, doing it up for the RISEUP tour. And but to go to the sporting news real quick, I do have to plug the fact that I'm going to be doing a 90-man profile, and we're going to be getting into trying to profile all of the players that are going to be on the 90-man roster. And 2025 summer scouting, I love the fact that we have a chance to kind of get more into the next year's draft. I love the fact that we have that. So keep your eye out for that. Again, thank you guys so much for letting me on, man. Thank y'all for letting me talk Falcons for, this is 100 minutes now. Every time. We tried every time, Jack.
We said it when the show started. Don't worry. It's going to be an hour, guys. Hour and a half later, we're still here talking.
It's every time, man. But no, shout out to you guys, man. Shout out to my guys over at Sporting News, Kenny, Fleet, Trey, and Hunter, man. You guys are amazing.
Don't forget, Kenny's the grits guy. Kenny's grits.
Kenny
right?
Grits.
Okay, Kenny Grits.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
good.
Yep.
Perfect.
But yeah, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it, man.
Hey, Saivion, once again, man, the platform, the podcast is always open for you to come back here and talk Falcons football with us. Matter of fact, I just thought of it. Next time we get you on the podcast, it's going to be a special 2-hour broadcast where we can get you over here. I'm going to make the announcement, too, that next time we get you on, it's
going to be 2 hours.
It's
going to be 2 hours.
So fans can expect it. But thank you so much, Saivion, for everything, man. Breakfast with One Time for the Fan has been great. Once again, thanks to you, sir. So you might want to go grab the either Bojangles or Hardee's. You still got some time to go.
Oh no. Hardee's is done. It was like, listen, we on to the burgers now. Hold on a second.
This is what it's about. This is what it's about. Falcon fans, hit the like, share, and subscribe button. Saivion, I thank you for everything.
Okay.
And we will see you soon on One Time for the Fan, brother.
Appreciate y'all, man.
Rise up.
Rise up, baby.
Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. This is what it's all about. Saivion, man. Terry, I'm telling you, man.
Yeah. I would
knew
love
it was
to
gonna
do
happen.
another
Now
show
I'm getting yelled at over here in the channel, like, you are 20 minutes behind. You are 30 minutes behind. Where are you?
Let's get you out of here, man. Let's get you out of here. First and foremost, I'm sure, as Jack probably alluded to, and those of you on Facebook know my mother passed yesterday morning. She did so peacefully around her children and grandchildren, and I'm not going to call the moment beautiful, but if you got to go, there are worse ways to go. So, Mom, I love you. I know you're doing so much better. You're not suffering. Thank you for everything that you've done, Mom. Thank you for teaching me. Thank you for introducing me to the Lord. Thank you for giving me the building blocks and the roadmap and the template. As far as the code, I have to give a shout out to my dad. He gave me that. But Mom, I'm definitely going to miss you. Going to try and represent you well. Going to try and carry myself like a good son, a good father, a good husband. Just a solid person. And I mess up, but Mom, for you, I'm going to try and do better. I'm going to try and be better. And I'm going to think about you every day. And I'm not going to be sad today. Thank you, Ernest. I'm lying. I am sad today. But you know what? The fact that I have you guys in the Rise Up tour and just all of the fans and all of the love. Thank you guys, man. I appreciate it. It means a lot. I'm not going to lie. I'm running a little on empty today, but I'm here. I thank God, Jack. I thank God for you every day, brother. I thank God for you. I got to give a few shout outs, and guys, I'll be quick, Jack. I know you got to go. Shout out to my wife,
you could.
Who tirelessly, her name is Kim, and a wonderful person. And I love her so much. Could not have done this without her. Could not have done this without my daughter Maya, without my daughter Mariah, without my son Zach, without my mother-in-law Grace, and my brother Victor. My brother Eric called me yesterday, and you know what? To be honest with you, what I realized about this thing, man, it's all about love. It's all about love. It's all about love. It's all about showing love. It's all about showing up every day. And Mom, I love you. I miss you. It was hard to sleep last night. I kept going in your room. It was weird, but I'm going to do my best to represent you every day. Jack, thank you so much for having me on this show, man. I honestly don't know what I'd do without it. You guys give me a focus. You give me a purpose. And I get a chance to talk my Falcons, man. And Jack, brother, I just thank you. Jack called me offline. Jack sent me messages. Jack, everybody from the One Time from the Fan crew was great. And I cannot thank you guys enough. As far as the fans are concerned, you guys reached out to me. Man, I just love you guys. And again, guys, I'm so sorry I was late today. But, I probably went to sleep at 7:30 this morning. And I woke up and like, oh, God. And Jack, I'm sorry. But with that being said, man, hey, rise up. Let's go. Let's go, Falcons. That's what it's about. And Jack, I'm going to defer to you, and I apologize that we've kept you so long. Are you going to play golf today, Jack, or what are we doing?
No. Weather's shot for today. I might go to the driving range, but I got to take care of some other stuff. But I'm good. Okay. But even though doesn't matter when you show up here to the podcast, man. it could be about Falcons. We can talk Braves. We can talk football. We can talk sports, man. But you've always been a good friend since
Yes,
we
sir.
first started talking.
And you to me.
Big
And
shout
I
out to
can't
Eric
thank you
Parker
enough.
too as well for
Yes.
keep telling me like, man, you gotta talk to my brother. You gotta talk to my brother. We can talk sports all day, So big shout out to Eric. But what you got going on right now with your family and in your life? Our thoughts and prayers go to you.
Thank you.
From One Time for the Fan.
Thank
Away
you.
from One Time for the Fan, I think every fan in the chat that was listening or watch would say the same thing. They give their condolences and their thoughts and prayers to you, Terry,
Thank
because
you.
it's a tough time in a lot of people's lives when we have these moments and support. That thought of having people check on you and give you calls and just trying to give you our blessings, right?
I think
our prayer.
I think it speaks to the kind of people that you are, that these fans are. Man, you guys have been so supportive, and I cannot thank you enough. And you know what, guys, I don't want to turn this show into something that's about me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But the thing about it is, it's real because you've been real to the chat, you've been real to the channel, you've been real to the podcast, and there's fans in here that's never met you before. That have been through what you've been through, or could be possibly going through that. We don't want to make sure that nobody here doesn't get love on the channel. Carlo, MW, Carrie, Lisa Shepherd, Pam, everybody. It's all love here from One Time for the Fan. Like you see what we're doing, like this. We're not even talking about football like right at this moment. This is for Terry.
Guys, right? I appreciate it all. I really do. I cannot thank you. I know my mom would appreciate it. I can see my mom smiling now. Guys, she suffered. And as much as I'm going to miss her, sometimes you just have to let people go. And I'm glad she got her wings yesterday. I know she's in heaven. Mm-hmm. I'm sure my dad was driving folks crazy. So she probably gave him a little balance yesterday. Actually, I'm sure they were glad to see her so they could be like, oh, my God, thank you. You know what I mean? Because my dad was something. He was something. Love you, Dad, wherever you are. Anyway, no, man, thank y'all so much. I cannot thank you enough. I appreciate it. And, I'm going to just do the best I can going forward to deal with it. It's tough. I'm not going to lie. But I'll get through it. And I'll get through it with you guys, and we'll get through it. And you know what? You know what would be the greatest ending to this would be if my Falcons, who I love with all my heart, won the Super Bowl this year, Chad. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Wouldn't that be great? That'd be awesome. That'd be a shout out to my mom, a shout out to my dad. Not only that, shout out to some Falcons that are no longer with us. Mm-hmm. We lost some Falcons this year. Claude Humphreys, right? Mm-hmm. I think we lost Claude Humphreys. Some other guys. So, if our Falcons could win a Super Bowl this year, bro, it would be poetic. It would be a great ending to a lot of Falcons and Falcons fans who have gone on to glory. But what if we could share that moment? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It'd be just great. So thank you, Lisa. Jack, look here, man. You've had an inspiration on me in the fact that you try to see positivity in every situation, and I'm gonna say the same. What was I walking around yesterday being positive? I probably wasn't. It was a tough day, but what I will say is now that I've had some time to sleep on it, I'm gonna try and make the best of it, man. I'm gonna try and make the best. I'm gonna try and go harder for One Time for the Fan. I'm gonna try and prepare harder for One Time for the Fan. I'll tell you guys about the conversation that my mother had 6 months ago, where she was like, hey, man, have you started? Well, she didn't say, hey, man, but she said, hey, have you started your podcast? And I was like, no. And then here comes Jack, you know what I mean? Which, in all honesty, is probably like Superman, hey, I have this podcast, come along. And it was just a perfect synergy. So I'm going to go even harder, man. I'm going to try and do the best I can. And just thank you guys, man. And I'm going to shut up now because I'm talking way too much. Jack, you got something to do? Hey, let's do it, man.
This platform is for you, man. This is what it's all about. One Time for the Fan, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. I know fans have been asking about the tour information. I'm going to post that in the chat and in the channel too as well. Oh my God. Did I just make the screen smaller? I sure did. But Falcon fans, hit the like, share, and subscribe. The RISEUP Tour Fan Club, of course, we've done great things in the past, and we're going to continue to do great things going forward. Fans were asking about the membership. So I'll just go ahead and put that on the screen here so you all can see what is going on. The screen right now, you can see that they have the RISEUP Tour fan membership. You see it, Terry?
Yes, sir. I do.
So if
Rise
you
Up
see
Tour Fan
that,
Club 2024 new membership application.
so then where is the stream? Oh, there goes the stream. All right, cool. So I'll take this down. So for fans that want to sign up, they have the membership going on right now. Still, we had the flash sale the other day, but the flash sale is now over. So if you want to sign up, it is a price of $125, or if you're watching the podcast, for those that do watch the podcast, for the one time for the fan listeners, you can use OTFTF in the chat, which is the promo code. I actually just typed that before why did I just hit enter before I was finished typing? But OTFTF is the promo code that you can use on the second page to check out, and it'll give you a discount from your membership. But we're moving in the right direction. Of course, our events and everything that we have planned, we're still working on everything right now because, of course, now the dates being out for the schedule gives us a little bit more a little bit more better options of where we can go and what we can do. But yes, the first game up is Philly. So Philly's already being worked on right now. And I know fans are excited about Vegas and all this other stuff. But when you sign up, make sure you go to the bottom of this page, you hit submit. It'll take you over to your next page, which shows the payment page. And then you take care of the payment there. And then from the payment page, you get a chance to be added into our private group, and then you get added to our email list where you'll be able to get all of your information that you need going forward this season. Now, if you're also here in the chat and you're on Facebook and you're like, you know what, Jack, I'm on Facebook, that's too much stuff to do. Just try to keep it simple here for me. Well, you can head on over to Facebook to the Rise Up Tour fan club group on Facebook, right? And you can go ahead and ask to enter the group. And once you answer the questions, you might get a message from somebody named Jack Spade. Oh, who is Jack Spade? That's me. So for fans here in the chat, you can head on over to the Rise Up Tour fan club away Falcons, Atlanta Falcons away games only. Right? Make sure you try to go to that group. Don't go to the private group because we're not going to let you in unless you pay. You got to go to this group right here. And then we'll, once you answer the questions, you probably get a message from me or somebody on the membership team. And of course, it's Jack Spade. So check your messages, people. Check your messages.
Check them.
Even in the little spam box, check your messages because people be hitting me up a week later like, bro, I've been hitting you up all week. Like, did you check your messages? Like, oh, bro, I didn't know you were there. Like, I've been sending you a message. So Falcon fans just waiting on Vegas, waiting on this other information. We'll have that stuff out shortly. But for those that's going to Tampa with us, we're pretty much Tampa's damn near done. So we want to say thank you to everybody who's been supporting not only one time, but the Rise Up Tour fan club. Terry, this has been great. Shout outs before we go ahead and get up out of here, my brother.
Hey, man, shout outs to the fan. Obviously, shout out to my mom. Shout out to my family. Thank you, God. Jack, thank you for having me on this show. Shout out to the Falcons. And, hey, man, again, Jack, you keep coming. You keep inviting me. I'll keep coming back, sir. I'm going to defer to you. Go right ahead, sir.
Falcon fans, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. Breakfast with One Time for the Fan has been great. And I just want to say thank you all to everybody who's been rocking with One Time for the Fan. Because, like I said, this show, this podcast is from us. It's for us. Like, we are the Falcons Nation. This is what we do. Like, we're the community. Like, we're all for the team, right? We're all for what the logo is. We all stand behind that red and black. And we always bring a lot of special guests here to the podcast. And I want to say a big shout out to Saivion, who was here. We had a panel the other night with Denise Moore, with Rise Up Tour members, with Thomas Scott, with Jabri, with Deke Ruffin, David, who was here with us for for the first time. The Falconator, who's been on the podcast, April Showers, who's been on the podcast, Miles Garrett, who's on the podcast with us recently, Lisa Shepard, who's on the podcast with us, Carrie, who's on the podcast with us, all the special guests that we've had Big shout out to you all because we're closing in on 1,000 subscribers. We are literally closing in on 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. And that 1,000 mark is actually pretty cool because all we do is go live and talk Falcons football.
Yes.
We ain't doing nothing else. I mean,
yes,
that's it. We just go live and talk Falcons football. You guys see me at the games and you guys see us, training camp and all the other videos and everything. Terry, before you was here, there was a lot of content we put out. But now, as you can see, there's even more content. But the cool thing about it is we have another special guest joining us because there's no show on Sunday. No show on Sunday. The next show will be Wednesday coming up. We might have a pop-up show next week, but let's just say Wednesday for right now. But we do have a special guest who's going to be joining us next week on Breakfast with One Time for the Fan. And that special guest goes by the name of my good friend, Chef Matt.
Chef Matt.
Remember that little segment I tried to put out last year about the Chef's Corner?
Yep.
And I was trying to get some people, or not people, I was trying to get Chef Matt to join the show to come talk to us about, creating recipes and different meals for fans who love to travel on the road or who can't make it to the game, but they want to taste the experience of being in a different city. Kind of like week 2. If you're not going to Philly, you might order Philly cheesesteaks here in Atlanta because, we eat, we're in Philly and people in Philly eat cheesesteaks, right? It's kind of like New Orleans with the seafood, right? So I had this segment called Chef's Corner. I'm getting ready to introduce this season. Oh yeah, nobody's done it, so I don't not see no chef on nobody's channel. So I'm just joking. But
drop
it's all
your mic.
about being it's all about being real out here and keeping it real. But Chef Matt recently went viral, and he went viral for a video that looks I can't even put it up, but he went viral for this video with the mop sauce. With the lady who has the mop sauce and she's putting the mop sauce over the chicken, over the meat, the barbecue that they were cooking at the Roadhouse. Where was that?
Yeah, my kids were talking about that yesterday.
So that's Chef Matt in the background who was recording the video.
Yep.
That video right now at this moment for Chef Matt has over 31 million views. And Chef Matt has been getting a lot of good reviews and bad reviews about what he does. But he's also the executive chef at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So all the food that you guys eat at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, remember we talked about those prices and stuff? Well, Chef Matt is going to be on here next week with us on Breakfast with One Time for the Fan, talking Falcons football. Look, Chef Matt got the video there, That one has 506,000. That one right there has, I can't remember.
A lot.
Yeah, but he was the TikTok one that I saw had over 13 million views.
Yeah.
But that is your executive chef right there from the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, who's going to be joining us next week, Friday, here on Breakfast with One Time for the Fans. So ask your food questions. All you foodies that's going on the road, all you foodies that come to the Benz like, why does chicken tender taste so good? Ask Chef Matt. Don't ask me. Ask Chef Matt. But definitely you want to be, respectful in the chat. We have a lot of season ticket holders. A lot of people in the chat is gonna be like, man, when y'all gonna bring them ribs, man? What's up, them lemon pepper wing, man? Don't be in here, Atlanta.
Hey, Jack.
Atlanta.
Jack,
what's up?
I think a lot of people didn't understand the mop sauce.
Oh, the mop sauce. He'll explain it. But Terry, go ahead.
I think they're kind of, is that a mop from the? No, it's not. Clearly, that's a mop that's only designed or used for culinary purposes.
Cooking and culinary arts, which a lot of people who view social media these days, I'm not going to throw an insult or anything, but a lot of people don't do the fact checking, right?
Correct.
That's not a mop that's on the ground cleaning the floor.
Correct.
With some of the comments that had a lot of the retweets and a lot of the likes and a lot of the laughs was, I ain't eating in that restaurant. That one cleans the floor. No, it doesn't.
Right.
It doesn't clean the floor.
Right.
But then again, you even tell people the truth and they don't want to hear the truth. They want to hear the lie anyway. That might sound like the truth, but we like the lie better.
Yeah. Well, and all defense of those folks, you never see that, right? So your mind will, if you're not aware, right, your mind may take you there. But I can't wait to talk to them because that's
when you tell them the truth, Terry, and you show them online that the mop sauce is that the mop sauce the mop is
just for the mop sauce.
The mop alone is selling online on Amazon, and it shows for cooking. It shows right there. This is not to be used on the ground.
Right.
This is to be, but then again, I'll let Chef Matt explain it. I'm not a chef, but
yes,
I'll let Chef Matt explain
it.
But we have a lot. We have a lot that we're cooking up this year. Oh, you like that? We have a lot that we're cooking up this year. With One Time for the Fan and Chef Matt, who's going to be helping us out during the season, preparing some dishes. So I'll be in Philly. For those that do not know, I'll be in Philly for the game. And for fans that cannot make the game, if you want to make a Philly cheesesteak that might have some extra ingredients or some special spices or something that might give you a little bit of flavor, Chef Matt, who's been doing this a long time, he can help you out, right? If you want to add something to your dish when we go play Minnesota that week, Chef Matt, he can help you out because we're going to have Chef Matt on the show a lot. So big shout out to Chef Matt, man. But once again, over 50 million views on the mop sauce video. And he's going to take some time to come out and talk with us next week, Friday here on One Time for the Fan. My good friend. Angelica's in the chat. She said, hold on, let me close this because there's something blocking it. We used to use a mop or a clean dishcloth before these fancy brushes came along. And Angelica Williams, Terry, you know how it was back in the day now. I mean, come on, Falcon fans. Like, don't look at the video and just think that they're using the mop sauce on there and they putting on the ground and they go, nah, it ain't doing all that. Jelly Jones said, catch y'all in Denver.
All right.
Be ready to go skiing. Falcon fans, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. T Will, thank you so much for joining us here on One Time for the Fan. I know you have a lot going on, and we will definitely continue to give you your flowers, and our thoughts and prayers go out to you your family as well. Falcon fans, hit that like, share, subscribe in the chat. Rise up, T Will.
Rise up, sir.